Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, Quincy College Athletic Director Doug Scott will be joining us for an update. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's beautiful. Lots of sunshine out there. It's kind of brisk, 56 degrees right now, but a pleasant day today with highs in the low 60s this afternoon. The wind has a little bit of a bite to it today. Chilly night again tonight. Under clear skies, temperatures dip down into the lower 40s. Looks like a very nice weekend coming up. Just sun and clouds tomorrow, a little bit milder. Highs in the low 60s. Warmer still on Sunday as the clouds increase. It'll stay dry. Sunday's highs right around 70 degrees, and then another wet Monday on tap with rain and showers. Won't be windy this time, but it will be rather damp with highs Monday into the mid 60s. Looks unsettled actually for the middle part of next week. But right now we have sunshine, 56 degrees here in Quincy. Checking out the news for you today, well, a judge has ruled that 10-foot tall bronze statues of St. Michael the Archangel and St. Florian cannot be installed at the entrance to the new Quincy Public Safety Complex while a case against them plays out in court. Now, the Norfolk Superior Court judge earlier this week issued the preliminary injunction. It also rejected the city's request to dismiss the case. 15 residents filed suit back in May, alleging that these statues violate the state constitutional separation of church and state. Judge William Sullivan ruled that the statues are inherently religious symbols and that they were purchased at a cost of $850,000 without any public input. The city contends the statues are longtime secular symbols of support for police officers and firefighters. Mayor Thomas Koch says he will appeal the judge's decision. The new public safety complex is expected to be ready for occupancy by early next month. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says he's looking forward to speaking to the Quincy City Council on Monday night. Councilors invited Koch to speak to them about the city's $1.6 billion in debt. Koch said he's confident that the city is in sound financial shape.
It's easy to just throw a number out there without an explanation. When you talk about you break down the debt, it makes perfect sense. We're well within our limits, and I'll have a story to tell Monday night, and it'll be all facts. People can interpret it as they wish, as they usually do, but it will be very factual and a very open discussion. I'll have some of the team from Municipal Finance there with me as well, and we'll lay it all out, what we were facing and what we did to dealing with those things, particularly the retirement issue at the time, and then, of course, all we're doing with that money. I mean, I've get into this issue before, Joe, in elections prior, and everyone says he spends too much money. But when you push back and say, what shouldn't we spend it on, nobody gives me an answer. So, yes, we're building schools and seawalls, public safety headquarters. We're building new parks. We're building firehouses. I mean, tell me what we shouldn't spend it on.
Municipal Finance Director Paul Della Barbara and Rick Kosha from the Asset Management Department will be joining the mayor during the presentation, which is scheduled for Monday at 6:30 in the Great Hall at Quincy City Hall. Protesters are expected to gather outside City Hall prior to the mayor's appearance to speak out about the statue and the salary issues. NeighborWorks Housing Solutions here in Quincy has received a $5.46 million state grant to put toward construction of a new housing development for people transitioning out of homelessness. This new 24-unit development will replace a multifamily home at 150 to 156 Quincy Street in South Quincy. The new units will be fully accessible, energy-efficient studio apartments. NeighborWorks is partnering with Father Bill's in Mainspring to develop the project and will provide on-site case management, counseling, and support services to help residents achieve long-term stability. Construction will begin next spring and be completed in the spring of 2027. The contents of a 1947 time capsule that was discovered during demolition of the Squantum Elementary School will be put on display when the new school is completed in 2 years. The capsule was discovered in the cornerstone of the 1947 portion of the building, and it was opened recently during a ceremony that featured school and city officials and current students chanting, "Open it." Squantum principal Michael Sylvia read a cover letter that was inside the time capsule.
To the residents of Quincy, 50, 75, or 100 years hence. This addition to the Squantum Elementary School is being made approximately 2 years after the close of hostilities in World War II. Obstacles have been great in securing materials, but we trust that your judgment will be that the building has stood up well and that it has served the young people of Quincy satisfactorily over this period of years. Ordinarily, it is expected that the life of a school building will be about 50 years, but we see many school buildings that have been in use for much longer periods. Whenever this box is opened and the contents read, we trust that you can look back to a period of peace and to continued progress. Signed by the Superintendent of Schools, Paul Gossard. Dated July 18th, 1947.
Now, the time capsule contains some newspaper articles from the day, some printed materials from the school system at the time, and some coins of the era. There is discussion about creating a new time capsule to include in the new Squantum School. City of Quincy marked the 250th birthday anniversary of the United States Navy recently with a ceremony at the new Lone Sailor statue at Navy Park at Marina Bay. Retired Navy Lieutenant Commander Alicia Ping said it was fitting that Quincy honor the Navy because President John Adams is considered the father of the U.S. Navy.
The city's connection to the Navy is unbroken. The Navy made Quincy stronger, and Quincy made the Navy better. Our celebration today is about more than history. It's about partnership. For the 250 years, the Navy has safeguarded our freedom, but it's communities like Quincy that give the Navy its strength. Military readiness begins in the families that teach duty and sacrifice, in schools that inspire young people to serve, and in leaders who care for veterans when they come home. It also lives in institutions like the Adams Presidential Center, who shares in our mission to promote citizenship and to inspire future generations to serve their communities and our nation. Civic pride isn't just about waving flags, it's about action, about showing up, helping out, and remembering that service is a shared responsibility. As we mark the Navy's 250th anniversary, we honor 2.5 centuries of honor, courage, and commitment. Values that have carried our sailors across every ocean and through every conflict. We also honor the sacrifices, the shipbuilders, aviators, and sailors who served and sometimes gave their lives. This is also a moment of joy, a celebration of service. Our Navy began with a few small ships and a big idea, that freedom is worth defending. 2.5 centuries later, that idea still propels every carrier, submarine, and destroyer at sea. Happy 250th birthday to the United States Navy. To the sailors, past and present and future, who keep our nation strong. And thank you, Quincy, for your steadfast partnership and pride. Fair winds and following seas.
Ping is now Civic Engagement Officer at the Adams National Historical Park here in Quincy. The USS Salem at the Quincy Shipyard also celebrated by offering free admission to veterans and active duty Navy personnel last weekend and offering some special programs about the history of the Navy and of the Quincy-built World War II era heavy cruiser. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Doug Scott, Athletic Director at Quincy College, provides us with an update next. Welcome back. Doug Scott's been serving as Athletic Director at Quincy College since June. Prior to that, coached the men's basketball team, the Granite, for 9 seasons. So he's finally stopped by here in the program to talk to us about his journey. Doug, good to meet you and great to see you.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
Yeah, pleasure to talk to you about this. We focus a lot on academics at the college on our monthly programs. So we're turning the page here a little bit, having some fun talking about sports. However, at least in your mind, the two go hand in hand, right?
100%.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me a little bit about your background first, your history, if you can.
Grew up in the city of Quincy. Went to Quincy High. Had a nice career playing at Quincy High School. My pathway went to Massasoit after that in the junior college realm. And then after that, just started working and found a path of just helping people, through sports and coaching. And, and I'm doing it to today.
Yeah, in your hometown, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What year did you graduate Quincy High?
08.
Okay. All right. And right to Massasoit after that?
I did, yes.
Yeah. What did you study at Massasoit?
Business.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Being a business owner now, I own Scott Brothers Construction, and so kind of put me on the pathway as a business owner, and just serving people in in other communities.
Yeah, but sports was always in your blood. Standout athlete, legendary athlete at the high school, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Highest scorer, is that right?
Yeah,
Does that record still
I
hold?
guess that's what I'm known for. I try to hide from that. I don't want to be known just for that.
Okay.
I think I'm put on this earth to help people. And I got a great opportunity here to help more people. Young student athletes, to impact their lives. High on my list to do in life.
Yeah. How did you end up? You actually kind of founded the men's basketball program right at the college.
I did. I would say I have a creative mind.
Yeah.
I love creating programs and opportunities for people. And, the opportunity at Quincy College, I just felt like me coming out of Quincy High and, whatever my downfalls were at the time, I thought, Quincy College and athletics would have been a great path for me to be locally. And I always had that in my mind. And then kind of presented it to the college, and it started out, I think it's been about 10 years that I've been involved. My first year team, I think we had a total of 8 guys.
Okay.
We were number 2 team in the country. We had 2 Division I scholarship athletes, and all 8 graduated.
Wow.
So right then and there, I thought we had something special, especially in the city of Quincy. And then just the leadership that we've had. President DeCristofaro, our mayor, to just give me the opportunity, one, for my vision, and innovative ideas and unique kind of situations where we really can help student athletes that are really serious about academics, right? We have people come in, and it's if graduating isn't number one, then it's going to be a tough road. You're here for an education, you're here to graduate, right. And then athletics comes second. But we try to support all our athletes to improve, even if it's sports enhancement, the performance side of increasing your body, but just overall making you better as an athlete, and then, providing them, academically, just resources for them to be the best student athlete possible.
Yeah. Were you active in sports at Massasoit, Doug?
I was. Yep. Yeah. I was a all-region Division II. They were Division II at the time. I led the country in 3-point makes. I had a lot of opportunities, but life gets a hold of you, and I had to go into the business side and kind of grow as an individual. Started a family, and so life gets a hold of you, and you try to find opportunities where really helping people has been my calling.
So did you kind of hold yourself to the same standards academically and athletically as you hold for your students?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Looking back, I wish I had somebody like myself,
right.
To really guide me. I think a lot of young men or young women think they know it all, especially when they come from, being the best player in your perspective, sport.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to have somebody that can lead you down the right path, and I feel like I'm that somebody here to help individuals, not just basketball anymore. It's through all sports, which I'm just excited about. Just kind of jumping in different realms of pathways for the hockey, a hockey student athlete, a baseball student athlete. So that's kind of the fun and interesting part about this job that I was very excited about. that I can kind of step outside my realm and just understand, pathways for, all student athletes where, they can come to Quincy College and have a path of success. It should be a pathway to success and to move on to a four-year university or stick, at Quincy College and graduate. So there's so many opportunities here, and I think we're, as a program, we're making the proper steps to continue growth, to continue success, and I'm excited.
Yeah, well, since June, you've been kind of dual role, right? Athletic director and men's basketball coach.
Yes.
So you're stepping away from the coaching duties?
I am.
Okay.
I am. I just think it's time. Again, for being around it for 10 years, I think we've built something. When I say we, anything that has been done here it hasn't been just me. It's the people that I've surrounded myself with. That have impacted the program, and really took ownership of it. So I've been fortunate enough to just have really great people surrounding me as my coaching staff, but also the people in our building and our community. What I think separates us from other, community colleges are people, and now it's, building those relationships with my coaching staff and providing them, with whatever resources they may need. To be very successful, and
just this past week, Jamal Griffin named new head coach of the men's basketball, right?
Yes, yeah. Jamal's been with me for about 2 years.
Okay.
3 years actually, and we speak the same language. We talk daily, and his communication is, his approach to the game is the same approach as mine. So we have kind of the same voice and same outlook of the game.
Sure.
And I know he will, not only continue our success, but I think he'll take it to another level. Especially with me and being around it and have done it. I think putting him in the right situations to be as successful as possible. But also, we're putting so many things in place now for our student athletes where they can come, and have a safe place to discuss things with me, and I'm not the coach, and to really help them academically. I have a great assistant with me, Steve Priscilla, who's been fantastic by my side, and we do things to whatever we can to make that student athlete just more successful in all different roads down there at Quincy College.
What is the current state of athletics at Quincy College? What sports are offered?
So obviously men's basketball, we're in the Region 21, that's NJCAA. Baseball, we just moved to the NJCA, so those are two varsity sports. And then we have hockey. They are a club sport in which club athletics right now in the hockey realm is blowing up. Our numbers have shown it. And then, we have co-ed soccer, we have co-ed running. My initiative is really to bring the women's athletics to it, separate the men's and women's soccer to really get them on a varsity level that we're currently doing right now. And then women's basketball. We're currently recruiting for women's basketball right now. We have a couple coaches in mind that have been very successful in the women's basketball realm, and I'm actually excited. I think this time next year, we're going to roll out probably one of the better junior college women's basketball team in the country.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay.
So I'm excited about that, and just building more programs, but being innovative and having different ideas to make it our student athletes a success and a positive time at Quincy College.
I know you would stress, we say student athlete, you stress student first, right? That's kind of the philosophy.
Yeah. So in our kind of our region and in our conference, you got two different roads. There's people that just want to get guys graduated, and there's ones that compete that don't really worry about the graduation. I think we're doing both right now. And, you know, in the basketball realm, we've graduated 47 student athletes.
Wow.
You know, we have 18 scholarship athletes that have left our program. We've had 34 Division III athletes move on to four-year schools. So, you know, our program and our structure, I think now implementing that with other sports, I think we can have it on a broader scale of helping people.
Do student athletes at Quincy College have to meet certain education requirements?
Yep, so it's a full-time enrollment, 4 classes. It's a 2.0 GPA.
Okay.
And, you know, we've had, you know, especially this year with basketball, we have 4 student athletes that have came from the NEPSAC school, you know, Bridgeton Academy, Brimmer and May. So we're attracting right now like high-level student athletes, right? And, you know, it's helping them academically also, but more sports performance part where we're really pushing them to be the best possible in both realms.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that actually. Do you think that, you know, a successful student translates into a successful student athlete, or the other way around, or do they play together?
They both have to play together.
Yeah.
So for us to have, you know, student athletes leave, you know, on scholarship, you know, they have to be elite in both categories.
Okay.
So, you know, that's what we're stressing. That's what we push. You know, I think a lot of kids come in with high dreams and aspirations, and, you know, we're open to that. It's just we bring them back to reality of, hey, this is the requirements that you need to meet.
This is not just play.
Yes, this is what a Division I athlete does.
Right.
So we show them the way, and it's up to them if they can, you know, really execute that.
Right, and they don't have to, right? I mean, it can be just for play if that's all they want, right?
Yeah, it definitely can be just for play and have a, you know, just a great experience being a part of a team.
Right.
You know, from our student athletes that have moved on to scholarship before, we've had a lot of successful young men come through our program that are firefighters, that are cops.
Sure.
So I believe our structure here, you know, just having those real life skill sets on time, being personal, you know, talking to teachers and trying to just, you know, your relationships, build relationships in your community, give back to your community, and always be selfless. You know, help others. You know,
the soft skills, right?
Yeah. I think your glory will come to you if you really help other people. So we really stress that of being a good person first, and then the rest we can help you with.
Sure. Ideally, Doug, for facilities and athletics at Quincy College, how does the situation stack up right now? What would you like to see in the future?
So I think we're taking our next, you know, the proper steps, and as a program, you know, we're working really well. I mean, you know, Quincy Public School System, you know, they've been great working with us and welcoming us in to use their facilities. You know, especially the fields as well. Paul Donahue has been great, you know, so those relationships we're growing, we're working well together. But, you know, in the future, you know, I'd love to see Quincy College have our own facilities, you know, our own gym, you know, maybe a sports enhancement, you know, fields and things like that where, you know, we can just keep taking those proper steps as a program. But I know our leadership is just, you know, especially in the city of Quincy and, you know, President Christopher, our leadership is top notch, and, you know, I think we're all in alignment where we can do some wonderful things.
It's very evident already on the academic side, the partnership between the public schools and the college, with, you know, early college, high school, and the myriad of programs. So it stands to reason it would translate to athletics as well, sure. Do you have growth opportunities in the athletic department? Are you looking for help?
Yeah, I think we're always looking for help. Like I said, I think, you know, your staff, your people that I surround myself with is important. So, you know, we're always looking for people to kind of come in and impact, you know, and take ownership and help us grow. And so I think there's definitely more opportunity, especially with coaches, you know, when we start adding some sports. But, you know, I'm excited for the growth and our journey. And kind of just keep taking those proper steps as a program to, you know, continue to be academically, you know, high level, and then, you know, try to attract high level student athletes to Quincy College, where we can kind of support them and help them and put them on a pathway to success.
Sure. For you know, a high school athlete today, Doug, you know, listening to you saying, you know, I don't want to go to college. I want to be a pro. I want to be in the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball. What's your message to them?
Start here first.
Right. Yeah.
Start here first.
Yep.
And I think the state of college athletics now, especially at the higher level, you know, I don't even know if it's a student athlete anymore. It's more semi-pro, right?
Gotten more professional for sure.
So
yeah.
I feel like this level, it's a true meeting of student athlete,
Okay.
right? And yeah, so I'm excited for the journey, and you know, just excited to continue building relationships in the city of Quincy, but in our surrounding communities.
The new season for the Granite kicks off October 26th, right? 1 p.m. at Quincy High School. Free admission.
Yes. It's going to be a great brand of basketball. It's actually a preseason that we usually we're going to play Salem State.
Okay.
So we play a lot of state schools prior to our
Big state schools.
Yeah, big state schools that prior to getting into our conference. So you know, it's a real good test, and for our players to see that level. And then also we take a trip down to New York and we play a Division I team.
Really?
So we try to give our guys the experience of all different levels, and then you know, we leave it up to them of how they kind of produce on the court.
Sure.
You know.
Great to talk to you, Doug. Appreciate the opportunity. Good luck in your new role.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Please come back too.
Thank you.
Just enough time to take a look at the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. What you see is what you get out there. Abundant sunshine and pleasant temperatures in the low 60s. Really a pretty nice weekend, staying dry with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Rain returns appropriately on Monday. Thanks again to Doug Scott for joining us here from Quincy College. Thank you to our crew. Thank you for watching. Speaking of Monday, the Quincy Lions Club is stopping by for an update. Meantime, check our website, QATV.org. All of our local programs are there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.